I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No blind, out of sight and out of
Hello everybody and welcome to this very special Sunday surgery, because I'm actually happy because Liverpool have won the Carabao Cup. Brilliant news. Absolutely well deserved. Absolutely brilliant. Not going to lie, I suppose saddened at the fact that it went into extra time, but my Sky Fantasy Football captain came through. Van Dijk. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I've completely forgotten about Sky. Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, what a win for Liverpool. Well deserved. Absolute well deserved. David Hamil sums it up brilliantly. £1 billion bottle jobs. Not even bottle jobs. I think this just says everything about the spirit of what Klopp has brought to Liverpool, to be honest with you. It's amazing. It's amazing what teamwork brings, isn't it? Isn't it funny that? Funny how teamwork brings unity together, brings a more positive attitude. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny how when you are believing in one another, you actually want to win. You actually want to work. And that's just where I work. Maybe Vincent Kompany should be looking at us and thinking, do you know what? Liverpool show some spirit there. What about us? What about us? And it's so true. Watching that performance from Liverpool, their hard work and determination was fantastic. I mean, I don't even know how the ball stayed out of the net on several occasions from either Chelsea or Liverpool. That offside for Chelsea, it's just so tight. The Van Dijk goal, the first one, I just agree with Mark Goldbridge when I was listening in. If the referees or the VAR referees are just looking for things to find which is a problem, rather than just going, anything serious, obvious that's stopping? No, right, carry on. Carry on, it's a goal. They just look for things. And again, equating it to real life work, how often do you see that happen in any football game on the planet where a player is blocking someone off? Every single set piece, I would argue. Every single set piece, I'd argue. That happens. Does it get punished? Nah, nothing said. Nothing gets done about it. When a goal goes in, we've got a bit of the problem. If there's no goal scored, it doesn't matter. Well, it should matter. It's called consistency. It's like, I'll give you an example in my place of work. You mustn't speed while you're driving on the road. You must not speed. What's that? You've done 23 miles an hour in a 20. You must be punished. Then when you're with the management, come on, hurry up, get back to work. Yeah, but I'm doing 20 and a 20. No, don't worry about it, just go. Oh, I see. It's one rule for one and one rule for others. When it suits. It doesn't work like that. Like I say, like Mark Goldbridge said, consistency, fine. If we've been seeing that rule enforced throughout the whole season, fine, carry on. But you don't. Same with if you remember at the start of the season with dissent. When a player swore at a referee, yellow card. When a player drew out his imaginary yellow card, they get a yellow card. Yeah, quite rightly. 6 months later, you see Fernandes screaming in referee's face. Anything given? Nah, don't worry about it anymore. Yeah, but what about all those players in game week 1? Nah, don't worry about it. Yeah, but he got it doesn't matter. Yeah, but his first yellow card then resulted in a second yellow card. He got, it doesn't matter now. Doesn't matter. It does matter. It just it frustrates the shit out of me. Inconsistency to anything, to be honest with you. And great win. Brilliant win. I'm glad that Chelsea fell apart in the stoppage time, to be honest with you. Absolutely overjoyed. And the Liverpool under 21s, as someone on X said, deservedly win the Carabao Cup. Oh yeah, and Wolves won today as well. So, as ever, it's Sunday Surgery. If you want to join in the fun, you can join in. Wow, there is literally nobody speaking other than animations, John Harris, David Emil, PM, Michael Swedding, Just a Dad posting stuff in Matthews Aishi. God, this is going to be a short show. When you rage transfer out Kevin De Bruyne to Salah to chase price rises, that didn't even happen. This season, I've lost the plot. He isn't even fit. What was I doing? Animation saying he's going to have to do a -8. Yep, come on the show. Talking of FPL, absolute joke of a match today. Did Wolves deserve to win? On the balance of the first half, yes, but watching that game was like watching two teams that don't really know what they're doing, to be completely frank. And congratulations to Alex Vollo. Genuinely, he captained Ain't Newry, a player who's done nothing all season. Yes, he's an attacking threat and whatnot, but he's done nothing all season from an attacking perspective in the literal sense of getting returns. And then the 1 week he decides to captain him, he pops up with an assist. and to boost with a clean sheet as well, and 3 bonus points. So genuinely congratulations to Alex. And to all those stupid cunts that are giving him shit, genuinely, Alex, if you're watching this, just block him. Just do a Steve-O, mute. I've already muted. How many have I muted now? How many FPL accounts have I now muted? I think I've muted since yesterday I've muted 10. Because the original title of this stream was Time to Reset, because I'm just sick to death of X. In fact, I've recorded a bonus Total Steve-O podcast that's going to anger a lot of people, because it's to do with the FPL community. That absolute load of nonsense. Oh, it's so wonderful, the FPL community. It's not. Some people are. Some people are all right. Like Alex Voller was a simple example, but the majority are just narcissistic arseholes, to be completely frank. In fact, they're not narcissistic, actually. In fact, some of them are. Most of them are just egotistical. Egotistical arseholes, which, if I'm following them or not, mute. Don't want to see any of your crap anymore. I'm actually bored of it. I'm genuinely bored of just seeing the same posts from the same people, which are basically just bots, saying the same fucking thing. It is just getting on my tits, so it's just mute. I'm also made a decision I'm not listening to any more FPL content this season, apart from FPL Juice. FPL Juice is literally the only thing I'm going to be listening to. Anything else I'm not going to be listening to at all anymore. I just have no interest. I'm bored of it. I'm bored of just, I'm not being funny, but just the lack of just personalities now. It's just bots, which I always use. I'm not going to name the person, but I was thinking of this earlier on. This is how much of a loser I am. I was thinking of this earlier on. I was thinking, I remember that time when that really popular podcaster, like huge podcaster in the FPL space, they did an emergency space. They did an emergency space on X, and it was magnificent. And they came on and they said, fucking hell, there's like 300 people waiting for this. I'm just in my car. I just want to rant about the outcome of what happened. I don't listen to this podcast. Couldn't care less about this podcast. Got nothing against the people that do the podcast, but I was just like, right, let's listen in. This is going to be fun. Should be fun. And there he was in his car, and for 15 minutes straight, ranting and raving and going apeshit about what had happened on that day. And I'm like, this is just FPL gold. This is amazing. This is what I come here for. This is what I want to listen to. This is what I want to see from the FPL community. So I thought, you know what? You've won me over. You've actually won me over, because what you've just said in that space is, you've now won me over. So I'm going to check out your podcast. Opening intro was words to the effect of, yeah, I've already ranted about the issue the other day and I'm not going to be saying anything like that tonight. Brilliant, turn off. So you're going back to being a robot then? Brilliant. Oh, great. Let's hear you being a robot. Fantastic. I hate the fakeness. I just can't stand it. I hate the fakeness. Just a bunch of frauds that think they're all something special because they got a big podcast or they got a big YouTube channel. You're not. You're really not. Because once if you are to be taken down or it ends, no one cares. As I've said to death, if Elite FPL ended, if I decided to say to Jason, do you know what? Like last night, to be completely frank, I could have easily messaged Jason and gone, do you know what? I can't do this without you. I'm not streaming or doing anything to do with Patreon for however long it takes for you to get back to doing streaming after the birth of your new child, as Van Dijk and Klopp lift the trophy. I could easily say to Jason, do you know what? I have no interest in doing this without you. Fuck it, I'm just not doing anything for weeks. No one would care. Maybe a few days, maybe a week, people are like, oh yeah. Oh, it's a shame Elite FPL don't do anything, but they'll just move on to the next thing. And that's the whole thing with the online digital world. Once it ends, it's gone. No one cares. Move on. Next. That's the world we're living in. Next. There's another podcast about FPL. Yeah, listen to that. Oh, there's another one. Listen to that. Same shit. That's it. It's why I only listen to FPL Juice. And I have got nothing to hide. I genuinely have nothing to hide. And this is my point about with X as well. It's, if you follow me and don't like the fact I muted you, unfollow. I don't care. I genuinely do not care. And yeah, going back to, I don't even know what this is. Oh yeah, it's to do with Alex Vollo, isn't it? And getting hatred about the fact that he captained 8 Newry. Okay, it was one person, but you know, there will be a few others probably thinking the same. And I know Alex has had a few arseholes that have trolled him. And at the end of the day, these pathetic individuals need to reevaluate their lives. If they take offence to the fact that someone is just posting about the fact that, yeah, I got a captaincy right. I'm 6 millionth in the world, but I've got a captaincy right. I just want to post about it. Because I don't mind people like Alex who... actually, to be fair with Alex is one of the unique ones, or the different ones, which actually doesn't post the same shit that every other arsehole does. He actually posts unique stuff, and it's quite interesting what he writes. So when he writes or posts about what he's going to be doing before the week or what's happened after the week, it's of interest to me. As I've stated before, I've always hated the ones which are happy to brag about their scores. It happens in this community. This community's bad enough as it is. People that having a bad game week don't bother watching the streams. Even though, ironically, I do tell people to shut off when it comes to FPL. If you've had a bad week or whatever and you feel it's affecting you, shut off, just turn it all off. But actually, sometimes I'd rather them vent their anger, write a comment, come on Discord and chat on Sunday Surgery about their shit game week, have a discussion about it, done, and you're going to feel better about it. Bit like me last night with my, the video stream, whatever you want to call it, last night that I did. I felt great afterwards. I generally just smiled after and went, yeah, that feels good. A lot of comments, surprise, surprise, lots of comments come in. Because whenever you put out a rage video, people love it. Gonna have to write a comment. When it's all positive, nah, no one writes a single fucking thing. People don't like good news. They all hate good news. They can't stand it. They hate it. They hate positivity. They all like negative stuff. And yeah, I've completely lost my trail of thought now. I'm boring myself talking. Evening, Connor. I was gutted that the volley wasn't on today, actually. Genuinely gutted that I didn't have the volley on, because I really wanted to go on. Not go on, but I wanted to listen into you, Matt, and, well, I'm assuming you were going to be doing it, but you, Matt, and... I've forgotten his name, Dan. Fucking hell, I've forgotten his name. I was hoping to watch you, Dan and Matt, listen to you, Dan and Matt, doing your stream, but unfortunately you weren't doing it due to whatever reasons, and yeah, it's one of those. David Hamill saying, if it wasn't for Steve, I'd have to listen to Gary Neville right now. Yeah, oh yeah, people at Captain Chan, Huang. I mean, didn't he get injured during the warm-up or something? Or more specifically, fell over. So that's another thing with the FPL X community. So I go on my phone at whatever time it was, 1 o'clock. I don't really care. And basically, it was one FPL account retweet the Sky Sports Huang falling over, and it says, I can't believe this has happened. Next FPL account, repost, same thing. Can't believe this has happened. Next FPL, oh, just fuck off. Just the same regurgitated wording. Like, no one is just original. No one, as I keep stating, no one posts anything that's like from a personality point of view. It's like when I just posted now on Twitter, or X. It's so difficult to keep calling it X. I just posted that hilarious scene from Bo Selector, because every time I hear Van Dijk, I just do the scene from Bo Selector. Do you like dicks or do you like dykes? It's just absolutely hilarious. Mel B. How do? Isn't that what Beard Meats Food does as well? How do? God, another fucking idiot. Evening, Kick Your Ass TV. Good evening. Evening, Ray. Evening, all. Evening, Matty. Bloody hell, Danny's here. Christ. Must be... what does Jason always say? Must be doing well. Harbour Boy, it's 6 in the morning. Why are you listening to this now? Matt Henley saying his highlight of the week was Craig Dawson. Yeah, if Sheffield United could just get shooting boots, they could have got a draw. They could have got a draw. I generally don't know. I don't really watch football, much of it anyway. And whenever I do watch, I think, God, what is the big deal with this specific team? And it's like with Wolves. The only players that stood out for me from Wolves were Neto. Yep. And, yeah, Neto. Sarabia looked all right. But yeah, I don't know what it was with Wolves. I was not particularly blown away by them. They've clearly got a plan and everything, but when it comes to being up front, I know they're missing Cunha. When it comes to up front, they clearly had an off day today. And what was that stat again that it was? It was something like in the whole match statistics, it was Wolves had 3 shots on goal, one of them on target, which was the goal, whereas Sheffield United had 10 shots and 5 of them were on target or something like that. John Wilkes saying, I've had an awful week. Diaby, Walker benched, 5 red arrows on the bounce. Welcome to my world. How do you think I feel? Every single week, red arrow, yeah. Another red arrow, yeah, great. Like I said last night, I genuinely think that me and Jason are trying to have some kind of competition where basically who can have the worst result each week. And by the way, if you do want to come live on air, the Discord is available, so get into the waiting room and we'll bring you guys on in a minute. At the moment, I mean, it doesn't really matter because my score hasn't changed other than the fact that Neto got me 3 points today. The other point scoring, which is what everybody knows about, and the 1-0 win, was that 8-0 got 3 bonus points, Sarabia got 2, and Dawson got 1. But yeah, I got 46. Jason, well, he had Huang today, so that means that he got an additional 3 points. So there was no change whatsoever between me and Jason. I am 23 points behind Jason. 23 points. I had to take a -4, which was very frustrating. I had to do it because of a certain player called Allison decides to get a hamstring. Oh yeah, the Arsenal result as well. What did I say the Arsenal result would be? 4-1. I think I did officially. I put it as 3-1 in Super Brew. I can't remember what I put in Super Brew because it's just such a crap website to use. But I originally, if you remember, I put 4-1. And it ends 4-1. I can't believe bloody Newcastle's scoring there. I saw the highlights. And that goal was just so fluky. But fortunately, I say fortunately, unfortunately, Saka only got the one goal. But obviously, there was the potential of Gabriel scoring in the first half. In fact, how did that not go? Now thinking about it, how did that not go down as an assist for Gabriel? He headed the ball in. Is it because it bounced off someone else's knee to then go onto Botman's knee to then go in the back of the net? Is that the reason why it wasn't given as an assist? A bit like Walker's assist the other day. How the hell they gave that as an assist, I have no idea. But yeah, just absolute pants. Jesus Christ, Lloyd AJ, I haven't seen that name for... Couldn't even remember. I have De Bruyne and Rashford and Huang. Did it for a -8. Jesus Christ, shocking. I say shocking. It's not shocking at all, is it? Gabriel's effort didn't go over, a defender went to clear it. Yeah, exactly. I know that in the what do we call it? In the moderator league, talking of Harbour Boy, actually, let's celebrate him for a second. Harbour Boy is having a stormer. And I mean a stormer. 2000th in the world. I think this is actually his best ever. Yeah, by miles. His best ever season. His average is like 150,000th. Previous season, 160,000th, 199,000th, 152nd, 3 millionth. And there's an anomaly in there. 2019, 2020, where he ended up 50,000th. This season, 2,000th. Because as I keep saying, everything he touches turns to gold. And every player that he owns when no one else owns them just seems to pop up when they're required to. This week, Douglas Luiz. All the other supposedly popular picks and everything do nothing. Hwang is a prime example. Neto is another example. And yet Douglas Luiz, yeah, admittedly, I know he's bench fodder for Harbour Boy. But again, it's the home form. 10 against Burnley. 10 against Man United, 15 against Nottingham Forest. I mean, this season alone, 15 against West Ham, 10 points against Crystal Palace. This season, 9 goals and 4 assists. He's absolutely smashed the previous season, which was 6 goals and 7 assists. And yet, when we're all struggling to find players and people are bringing in, well, to be fair, Bailey actually did come through. We're all struggling to find players, and if we did have a transfer, we'd bring in Hwang. He's just got him anyway, and decided. This is my point. It's the same with the Sterling, as I was talking about on Patreon. It's the same with Sterling. Didn't need to remove him because he had other fires to put out, and Sterling just randomly decides to do whatever. Yeah, Lloyd saying I shouldn't have taken any hits, as he would have been on the same points. It's the same for me. Next week I'm not doing anything with my team. My team is pretty straightforward for next week, although I know for a fact that if I bench Neto's going to come through, but he's away at Newcastle, for crying out loud. Oh, I am playing him. Oh, that's right. I'm benching Foden against Man United. That's right. Yeah. That's the team for next week. That's what I'm probably going to be doing for next week. Saka captain as it stands right now. Who have they got again? Arsenal? Sheffield United away. It's a home fix. It's an away fixture against Sheffield United, who have been absolutely awful, and Arsenal on fire. It'll probably change, and I'll end up being on Haaland as captain. But Haaland is somebody that I want to get rid of, but it's not really of priority at the moment. It truly isn't a priority move. It's more of a luxury if I'm able to get rid of that. Complete waste of space. There's a case of when they decide to actually do something. Anyway, let's bring on Animations. Let's see what he has to say. Good evening, Animations. What do you want to say? Like what? Well, you're on a par, aren't you? You've got 53 points. You're on a par with most people. You've still got Tony and Areola to play tomorrow. What was your -8? To be fair, they are the right decisions that you made. Why did Torres go off? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I pressed the wrong bloody button. Ah, how annoying. You've been muted the whole time because I stupidly didn't press the right button. I thought I unmuted you. Basically, Animation was just saying that essentially he got rid of, for a -8, basically the Liverpool lads, Bradley, Jota, Darwin for Watkins, Shang and Torres. And Torres came off injured at half time. You couldn't make that up, to be honest with you. Did you watch the Wolves game by any chance?
Yes, I watched about...
Did Hwang play? Because I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was playing.
Was he? You sure about that?
From what I was... from what I was watching, I didn't see much of him. It was all Neto and Sarabia and obviously Ayanori getting the assist, so big up Alex Follow for captaining him. So, but yeah, no, I didn't... From what I saw, I didn't really notice Hwang, really. So maybe that's different for other people, but I didn't see him getting anything really that noteworthy anyway.
He did nothing. It's the simple answer. He was invisible in that game, and I think that he may be potentially... I could be completely wrong. Yeah, I could be speaking absolute nonsense as normal, but he could be better out more on the left-hand side with Neto on the right, or whatever role he chooses, and then Cunha up front, maybe. I think he may be a better supporting striker, perhaps.
Cunha's injured, isn't he?
Who?
Cunha.
No, I'm just making the point that...
Oh, no, you're
if they actually have a striker, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's just the role he has to play, doesn't he, for Cunha, doesn't he? Obviously, because they haven't got a forward like that.
What did you think of the Wolves game, anyway? Pretty
boring, to be fair, mate. But barring the Ayanori assist, I was like, I really hope Sheffield United scored to ruin that clean sheet for Wolves. Because I didn't have a defender, but yeah, it just seemed pretty boring to me, to be fair, mate. I'm not going to lie.
They did have a lot of opportunities, Sheffield United, but they just didn't take them. And there was a lot of sloppy passing, I noticed, within the game itself. I found lots and lots of misplaced passes and accidentally passing to other players and slipping over the ball and stuff. I don't know if the weather was a contributing factor in particularly today's game, but I think... If it ended 1-1, I think that probably could, based on Sheffield United's performance in the second half, maybe would have been a fair result.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The only other interesting thing about that game was obviously two of the players were firing, weren't they? Or they were having a bit of exchange of words in the first half.
Oh yeah, those two. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised though if it was a 1-1. I honestly wouldn't have been. I mean, obviously Archer's injured, so. They were playing Rhian Brewster, who looked lively in the first half, but yeah, in general, I wouldn't imagine there could have been a 1-1 there.
What's the plans for game week 27 then? I'm guessing, before you say anything, I'm guessing it'll be, well, Areola in goal. I'm guessing who they got, Everton away, yeah. And then you'll have Gabriel, Ake, and right now as we speak, Doherty at home to Aston Villa, but then again, you wouldn't want to do that. Brighton, Estupinan, well, he doesn't play, so that's another problem. So we're down to one defender, that's fine. Then you've got a midfield 3-4-3. You'd be playing a 3-4-3. So your choice is very, very tough. Foden, Saka, Hwang, Palmer, and Richarlison. Who do you drop?
Well, currently... In the attack, I'm currently starting Tony because I think there's a good chance at home against Chelsea you could get something in that game. And so currently the bench is obviously, I put Hwang on the bench currently because I just don't think I can bench Palmer, Saka, Richarlison or Foden. But then obviously Foden is probably in my transfer plans of getting rid of him. But I think with United being like with no Højlund and the defence just being a bit weak, obviously in general and stuff, with no Luke Shaw and other defenders, I think that's a good opportunity for him. To be fair.
Well, you know what FPL's like. The week that you think that you were going to be playing Hwang, I this week. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, don't you? Next week he's going to pop up with
he's going to score a 20-pointer like Foden did on my bench. I don't know if I want to.
Newcastle, I don't think it's that big a deal. They're terrible.
No, exactly.
Even though at home, if I look here, yeah, the statistics may suggest that Newcastle at home are very, very good, which they are. But there's a high. I mean, in fact, I say that last 4 matches, they concede 2 against Bournemouth. They concede 4 against Luton. They concede 3 against Man City. And they concede 3 against Nottingham Forest. And they're up against a Wolves team that like to attack. The last 4 fixtures is the complete opposite. They scored 2 against Tottenham. This is all away from home. 4 against Chelsea. Nothing against Brighton. And then they get 4 against Brentford. That tells me I'm flaming throwing the fucking armband on Neto. I mean, it looks like Wolves' assets are a lock, to be honest with you. Are Man City at home next week to Man U? They are, aren't they?
No.
They are. Yeah, they are. 3:30. They are. It's Man United away from home against City. What are you thinking on that game?
Well, I think Haaland, he's not really looked as he was, has he really, in the recent games? I mean, he got the goal against Brentford and like the other game against Chelsea, he didn't do nothing. I could see him wanting to come back against Man United and get something in. I mean, in the reverse fixture, didn't he get he got 2 goals and an assist, if I'm not mistaken, where everyone sold him because they thought Man United would do good, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he?
Well, the funny thing is that with Haaland this year, he seems to be getting his high scores away from home. Apart from the anomaly which was against Everton, which is when the first day he came back. Prior to that, he got a 16-pointer away at Chelsea. He got, like you said, the 16-pointer away at Man United. 20 points admittedly at home to Fulham and 13 points away at Burnley. This season, it's mental to look at this. He scored 17 goals and 7 assists, but it just doesn't feel like last year where he was consistently returning. There's a lot of there is a lot of gaps in his. So from the start of the season, 13 followed by a 2, followed by a 4, then 20, 6-6, 2-2, 8, 16, 1, 16, 7, 7, 2. Gets injured, and then it's 5, 13, 2, 8, 5. And if I, like I said at the start of the show, if I had the luxury to get rid of Haaland, I would. To make sure I get in, well, I know he's not fit, I get that, but to be able to get rid of Haaland to bring in Salah, but I know he's not fit, I get that. PK7, I suggest you just rewind the stream back to the beginning, you'll enjoy it. But yeah, next week is ending with Arsenal. Who's your captaincy on at the moment as we speak?
Currently my bus captain is on Bakayo, and I generally think I might just go against Haaland this week, as bad as it might hurt me. I think Arsenal is scoring for fun. I think Saka will at some point get a hat-trick. I generally could see it be against Sheffield United. I know Sheffield United are at home, but I just think they're that bad. Like, Arsenal are going to go there and batter them 3 or 4-0, I'd imagine.
So, Arsenal away from home, the last 3 fixtures, 5 goals against Burnley, 6 goals against West Ham, 2 goals against Nottingham Forest. Then, prior to that, they lost 2-1 to Fulham. They drew with Liverpool 1-1, and they lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. Now, I've always said this, that Arsenal away from home are more of a defensive team than they are an attacking team, whereas at home they seem to take it to teams. They just seem to score lots of goals at home, which is demonstrated here. They've actually scored 6 more. There's only 6 more goals. They've scored 6 more goals at home than they have away from home. Sheffield United, on the other hand, at home are, well, yeah, they're terrible. They conceded 5 against Brighton, 5 against Aston Villa. They 2 against West Ham, 3 against Luton. In a win, they didn't concede against Brentford, and then they conceded 2 against Liverpool. I mean, if I'm predicting that game, I'm probably going to say 3-0 to Arsenal, maybe even 3-1, because I mean Sheffield United put up more of a fight today, a lot more of a fight in their match against Wolves, to be fair. And as we keep stating, they did look like they are likely to Ray, I'm just going to mute you for that comment. But now I've just been put off what I was just talking about. Brilliant. Oh, Sheffield United, wasn't it? Yeah, they looked a lot better today, basically. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute Arsenal aren't going to beat them. Of course they're going to fucking beat them. But next week, if you if somebody, Alex Vollo, wants to really go for a differential captaincy, Solanke or a Bournemouth, basically a Bournemouth attacker against Burnley. Alex Vollo, if you're listening, you stick that captaincy on Solanke. Burnley next. And you know what? For the double game week upcoming and the fact that Haaland's got Man United next, potentially bringing in Solanke for Haaland, which sounds like madness. But for that game against Burnley, we've got no hope in hell of winning that. I already went through my predictions. Already went through what I thought last night about Burnley and the fact they're not going to win they're not even going to get, they're lucky to get 2 points. They'll be lucky to get 2 points between now and the rest of the season. So I think that Solanke could be an amazing option if anybody's thinking of going differential against Haaland, basically. Anything else you want to say, Animations, before we get out of here?
I don't know. I'm not really sure, mate. I think my team's in a good place. I think I'm going to get rid of that Estepinian, and I'm probably going to bring in a Bournemouth defender and just do that, and then move on to the next game, mate, and enjoy my week, to be fair.
Never thought about that. Bring in a Bournemouth defender for Estupiñán this week.
Well, he's useless, mate. He's got Burnley. You've just said aren't going to get a win all season. You've lost Brownhill, obviously, for the next game. So, I mean...
Oh,
and he's got the double.
I turned the highlights off of Match of the Day, watching with the Burnley game, because I'm just like, I don't want to depress myself anymore. Brownhill could not care less. That team is basically just, we can't be bothered, we don't care. We literally do not care. You know, like in any place of work where there's no team spirit, no one cares for the manager, no one believes in the project, no one believes in what they're doing, and it doesn't matter what they do, they're just like, whatever. I've got a few games off, and that's pretty much what Brownhill's attitude was like. It's just, I've been sent off, who cares? Genuinely, who cares? And
wow.
Unfortunately, it's going to make no difference to our team whatsoever, and I'm looking at this and thinking, Bournemouth could be the one. Danny Boy saying Son to smash Crystal Palace. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be that high scoring game. Do you think on anything on that? Any opinion on that? Son to smash Crystal Palace?
Well, that was another thing I was considering about maybe selling Phil Foden and bringing in Sonny. So I'll go in ready for 29. But if you're saying that, then I might not do it. I'm gonna lie.
Well, I wouldn't do anything based on what I'm thinking. I just don't think it's going to be a very.
Your opinions immensely and stuff, and obviously your predictions are very, very interesting and stuff, and I do like it. But yeah, I'm not going to make any rash decisions.
Admittedly, away from home, this is under Roy Hodgson. They have conceded a lot of goals. They drew with Everton. Okay, they conceded 1 goal against them, but 4 against Brighton. They conceded 5 against Arsenal, 2 against Chelsea, and then the 2 draws. They conceded 2 against that Man City and 1 against West Ham. Whereas Spurs, of late, they've scored 1 against Wolves, 2 against Brighton, 3 against Brentford, 3 against Bournemouth, 2 against Everton, 4 against Newcastle. But they're the kind of teams that are quite open and the teams that Tottenham are going to like to play. Crystal Palace, from my understanding, are quite compact. But again, if I was predicting that game, I'd probably go with 3-0, 3-1, something like that. Something like that, anyway. Animations, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Steve-O.
See you later. There's Animations, and if you want to come live on air like Animations, it's there. And as PK7 says, the minimum you can ask from a player is a good attitude and give all. And that's the problem with, in this specific case, Burnley. And that's exactly what Liverpool did. That's exactly what Liverpool did today. They gave it their all. They essentially just decided, you know what, in fact, Liverpool without their main front three are hopeless. Gakpo is a complete waste of a slot, to be honest with you. Harvey Elliott still needs to develop, in my opinion. Gakpo and Harvey Elliott are very, very good impact subs, but starters. No, and I know obviously they're having to rely on them due to injuries, but the difference that Jota, Nunez and Salah makes. I mean, even if Salah was playing today along with Gakpo and Diaz, would have made a massive difference, because it just brings that world-class style of play to what Liverpool need. But those three, they put in a shift. I'm not suggesting for a moment they're not putting in a shift, but they certainly are a team in which need those particular individuals to really up their game, but really they're just not they're not good enough to actually start for. I mean, I even say that about Diaz. He's a very, very, very good player, but Captain Solanke next to Gameweeks and go on your holiday. That's what Buffy's saying. Whose holiday? Are you going on holiday? Are you, Buffy? Where are you going? Ray saying perhaps Senesi at Bournemouth defender. No, I'm thinking of Alex Volo's mate, the centre-back for Bournemouth, actually. I forget his name. What's he called? Begins with S, I believe. And it is... Oh, it's a Z. Zabani. Zabani? He could be the one. He could potentially be the one to be bringing in this season alone. 3 goals, 2 assists. I know Senesi has had a good season so far with Bournemouth, and he will be the so-called casual pick. But he's another one, 3 goals, 2 assists. But I just think I don't know what it is. The fact that we, Burnley, are so bad at set pieces. We're so poor at set pieces. What would you do with De Bruyne? Get rid of him? Get him gone? I've said this for weeks. Like, obviously, I can't predict exactly what is going to happen when De Bruyne starts and stuff, but I kind of did make the point several weeks back that De Bruyne is going to be safe for their next run of games, which is happening from this Sunday, which is the Manchester derby. I've said it a billion times. From that Manchester derby onwards, that's when De Bruyne is going to be starting virtually every single game. Because these fixtures are huge in the title run / in Man City's push. So, Man United next. Okay, they got Luton. Obviously, we got the FA Cup games next, but Man United are up next. Then it's the Champions League game. Liverpool, Brighton, Arsenal, Aston Villa. You think De Bruyne is going to be rested in any of them? The only game I can see him potentially rested in, is the Brighton game and the Copenhagen game. They're the only 2 games I can see him being rested in. The Luton game, I don't know why he would even bother playing him in the FA Cup. There's no need for him to play in the FA Cup. In fact, this FA Cup, this is my predictions. I think Leicester beat Bournemouth. I honestly think that Leeds could beat Chelsea. If Leeds turn up the team which are doing so well in the Championship, I can see them beating Chelsea. And I can honestly see potentially a massive upset for Liverpool with Southampton, because Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp is going to play virtually all his kids. That's what he's going to do. He's going to play all his kids, and Southampton at the moment are absolutely storming the Championship. But the so-called upsets, I generally think, can be Leeds and Leicester away at Chelsea and Bournemouth. Now, I don't know how that impacts game week 29. That would mean then that, yeah, Chelsea, Arsenal would go ahead. And I don't know if Bournemouth, I could easily check right now, to be honest with you. It's not that difficult. It is difficult. So in game week 29, Bournemouth have... God. They're away at Wolves, so even potentially that game could go ahead because Wolves aren't in the FA Cup at all. So that would mean then on top of the Burnley-Brentford, Fulham Spurs, am I right in saying, is going ahead? And West Ham Aston Villa. I think they're the three, aren't they? Are officially confirmed. Yeah, they are. I think possibly Wolves Bournemouth could go ahead, and also Arsenal versus Chelsea, which in that case would mean then I would have Gabriel, Saka, Palmer, Tony, Flecken, Neto, Solanke, Bournemouth defender, Richarlison, and Watkins. That means I'll have 11 based on my basic predictions right now. If I think that Leeds and Leicester beat Bournemouth and Chelsea, if they decide to turn up, I truly think that could happen. But yeah, no one wants to come on air, fair enough, so that's going to be the end of the stream. I've got nothing else to talk about. So on that note, as ever, thanks for watching the stream. As ever, if you are brand new around here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button if you have enjoyed the stream. And yeah, other than that, let's get the hell out of here. Cheers everybody, and I will see you when I next see you.